As these words come out of my mouth, there's a very good chance that Neville has actually left the WWE, and that straight up sucks. The guy is one of the most talented on the whole roster, and everything he did in 205 Live this year was nothing short of excellent. However, when you take a step back and think about the talent he has and the ambitions he probably had for himself, then he had no choice but to quit WWE. He had to. Why? Here's why. In a dream situation, no one would ever leave the WWE under bad circumstances. It was rubbish when it happened to Steve Austin in 2002, and it was rubbish still when it happened again with CM Punk years later. In a dream world, you want to think your favourite professional wrestler is happy behind the scenes and everything is just hunky-dory. And when you find out that's not the case, it is a bit of a kick in the teeth, because you're like, oh boy, not only does he think he's underutilised, but he must be sad. I don't want anyone to be sad. I want everyone to be sickeningly happy at all times. Sickeningly happy. Sickeningly, which is a very hard word to say, and I got it wrong 3 times, happy. Ultimately though, it certainly does seem like, if it is true, that Neville didn't have a choice. He's been incredible in the ring since day one, and 2017 also felt like the year when all the character stuff started to click. He was hitting it out of the park on all levels. On top of that, he turned the Cruiserweight division around when he did join. He made the title feel credible, and he actually gave you a reason to watch. Neville added the fire into Tuesday nights, and there's no two ways about it. When we do get to the end of 2017, you gotta believe that Neville is gonna be nominated in loads of best of 2017 lists. But where on earth was he meant to go from here? If the rumours are true, he had been booked to lose to Enzo Amore on Raw, and straight away, that's a bad sign, especially if all the other rumours are true, and everyone backstage does hate Enzo Amore. But it's also a pretty good sign that WWE doesn't care how Neville performed this year. He's now just a disposable body that we can feed to Enzo. Furthermore, if he does have aspirations or a desire to take on the likes of Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, or even Braun Strowman, or hey, Roman Reigns, or deep down he thinks, you know what, I'm good enough for at least one proper run at the WWE title, where you ain't getting that on 205 Live, and you're certainly not getting it when, again, somebody backstage went, it's just Neville, he can lose to Enzo Amore. That must be a horrendous thing to go through if you are a pro wrestler, because you're essentially being pigeonholed. You're told, no, where you want to be is not where we're going to put you. And also, let's face it, if you are in WWE's Cruiserweight division, it does lower your stock a little bit, just because widely, nobody cares. It's what we saw with Austin Aries earlier in the year, which was another loss for WWE. And don't forget that one of his bugbears was the fact that Neville versus Austin Aries was cut off the WrestleMania DVD. And you got to imagine that Neville was annoyed about that too. Not only is it insulting, your match isn't good enough to go on the DVD, but it cuts his paycheck in half as well. Straight away, that feeling that you're not quite valued by the company is just going to rise and rise and rise and rise. I don't think walking out of a company is ever really a very good idea, but what else was Neville meant to do? Where was he going to go from here? He'd already revamped 205 Live, he'd been the champion, and he'd taken on everyone in that division and had great matches with them all too. And where did it get him? Just WWE using him to cement somebody else's push. And I understand that's how wrestling works, but you've got to understand why Neville would have thought, man, I got no choice. I've just got no choice. At 31 years old, Neville is definitely entering his prime. When you look out there into the great wide world of wrestling and realise that he could be in other companies fighting for proper championships and being treated like a huge star, well, I can imagine that's very appealing. The combined power of the likes of Ring of Honor, New Japan and PWG are kind of like WCW were in the mid-90s, and they do offer a viable option if you want to take the risk. In a perfect world, the man from Newcastle will find a way to make amends with WWE and get his career back on track there, but if he doesn't, I can completely understand why. He had to for the sake of his own career. I mean, who comes along with as much talent as Neville has? He's a natural, and he's always been a natural from the off, and he can do things that nobody else can do, and he even followed the WWE path, and he got jacked. What else can you ask of a man? So yeah, it certainly is interesting, and I think the fallout from all of this is going to be even more interesting still. But if nothing else, I hope it serves as a wake-up call for the WWE. I mean, it happened once, it's now happening twice. You can bet your ass it can easily happen a third time. Put it like this, another rumor at the moment is that apparently Ricochet is on his way to WWE, and it's a smart move. Ricochet is one of the best pro wrestlers in the world. However, if when he gets there someone says, hey Rick, we're going to put you in 205 Live, let me tell you this, Ricochet ain't gonna WWE. And it's not that it's bad, it's just that it's never gonna take you to the promised land. And for a lot of pro wrestlers, the promised land is main events and WWE titles. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Neville and WWE. Like, share and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from What Culture. This was the Y Series. I probably got a load of concussions from slapping myself in the head, but I do it because slapping yourself in the head is damn cool.
I am defiant.
I am
Defiant.
I am
Defiant.
I am defiant.
I am defiant.
I am
the villain.
We are defiant.